Paper follows suit by the Punch newspaper. The Nation newspaper says aviation experts knock splash of cash by states on viable airports. The Punch newspaper main headline says diplomatic tensions. Federal government pushes back as UAE tighten visa rules. Daily Independent says US visa restrictions. It's about reciprocity on Nigeria. That's according to experts. The Guardian newspaper, 2 years later, international travel restrictions spark fresh row over absence of ambassadors. This Nigeria, no single individual made Buhari president. Ex-SGF Mustafa says Buhari brought 12.2 million votes, while Tinubu and others only came with 3.2 million to the merger. Leadership newspaper, Akume Al-Makura Darie, others in race for APC chair. Nigeria News Direct, at 9th OPEC seminar, federal government calls for investments to boost production, energy security. The Hope newspaper also speaks to energy, especially oil sector. Well, Ondo government firm to build $15 billion refinery in Ilaje. The Platform Times, EFCC to National Assembly, pass unexplained wealth bill, says corruption in oil sector mind-boggling. Daily Trust, we uncovered mind-boggling corruption in oil sector. That's according to the EFCC. Blueprint newspaper, IMF thumbs up, FRS says new tax laws will impact Nigeria. And last but not least is the Sporting Live. It's Chelsea versus PSG final on Sunday. Persians humble Real Madrid 4-0. Talking about World Cup final. Right, let's do this with my colleagues, Etoma, Veronica. You guys are welcome to the conversation. Let's start off with the Nation newspaper, which has aviation experts knock splash of cash by states on unviable airports. They gave us a figure of 369.4 billion naira spent by 19 subnationals. FAN, MD, only 3 airports profitable. So we're building airports, but then they are unserviceable.
Oh boy. We have talked over and over about state government doing projects that are not directly linked to the people, and building and renovating airports is one of them. Some of those airports that were built from scratch and those that were also renovated do not have flights coming in or out for weeks. So why did you build it? That amount of money would have been plunged into something that will impact the people positively in that state. So is it a status symbol issue that you are doing as a governor, or you are there as a governor to serve the people well? Big question. I'm happy that this thing has come to the fore, but the monies have been spent already. So right now we should look for a way to make those airports viable. Absolutely.
Veronica, if you look at some of these airports, we have Asaba Airport, Bayelsa, Ogun Cargo Airport, Ekiti Cargo Airport, and we saw how they disturbed the hell out of us, using the media, to show what we've done. We built airport, but they are quite inoperable.
It's sad. I mean, we are talking about malnutrition. These monies, if channeled to addressing issues of malnutrition, it would have gone a long way to helping the state. When you talk about every other thing, when people feed well, they function well. And when you look at the future of your generation as a people or as a state, you know that, you've done something. And posterity will, mark you well at the end of the day. But when you build projects all in the name of, it should be said that I built this, but is it functioning? What is the volume of traffic of persons and businesses coming to your state as a result of that? You should have done your SWOT analysis to understand what will be the benefit of these things that I am building for my state at the end of the day. You look at your state critically, you understand, is this what they need? Putting square pegs in round holes does not give you the right results. I think state governors should perhaps employ people that can help them do research to understand what the states need, and then they begin to see how they can implement it if they are finding it difficult. I know some people behind the scene push them to say, do this one, do that one. You let people know that you did this when you came. But if it is not bringing value to the state, at the end of the day, money is wasted. So why venture into it?
See, you're talking about people that will help the governors do research. They do have them. They do have people that do those analyses and tell them that, look, this project is not viable.
But it's not giving us results.
No, but the box stops at the table of the
It can help them with political points.
Yes, it's for political points.
But it's not moving us anywhere.
It's not moving us anywhere.
All right, guys, let's move on to the Punch newspaper. If you look at the Daily Independent as well as the Guardian newspaper, they kind of united this morning. Diplomatic tensions. Federal government pushes back as UAE tighten visa rules. And then there is also the U.S. visa restrictions, which is about reciprocity, according to experts.
Absolutely.
And another one, which is talking about international travel restrictions, which is now sparking row over absence of ambassadors. Which interests you most from these angles?
Oh, boy. Both of them do not interest me. Interest me. But my question is, why Nigeria? U.S., UAE, all of them doing the same thing. They don't want Nigerians in their country. Why Nigeria? Our image is really bad, and unfortunately, Nigerians are helping to sell that narrative. We are demarketing our own country using social media and any other platform that we have.
Yeah.
The good things about it is that the federal government has started negotiating with the United States. Reciprocity, that's a big word, and a whole lot of people will want to understand what do you mean by reciprocity. But at the end of the day, I just pray that the negotiations that the federal government is doing with the United States government will yield positive results. You know, the UAE, well,
there's been a forth and back with the UAE, even though we thought we had, resolved some of the bottlenecks, with the country. But the absence of ambassadors is also receiving much attention, because we saw some names that came up, which were meant to, be screened by the Senate. But up till now, we do not have ambassadors, but we have our president, playing subtly the ambassadorial roles, meeting presidents, meeting different, big shots in different countries.
I don't think that it's about the absence of ambassadors, because how much influence do these people even wield when they were there to say, okay, whatever policy you're doing is in the best interest of Nigeria? When Trump came and we saw his move, he had made his intention known that it is all about America first, talking about the U.S. right now. And then just a day or two after the BRICS meeting, he comes slamming you with a reciprocity
tariff, important tariff.
Not even the tariff now, talking about this travel, saying that it's just 3 months single entry. And you think that it is just a coincidence? It's the fact that if you are aligning with these BRICS countries, I will deal with you, and it is because it's not in my interest or in America's interest. That is how I interpret it. So even if we have an ambassador there, he may not be able to do as much, because Trump right now is either yes or no as it stands. And so for that one, I think that it is Trump trying to make a big statement, saying, because you are aligning with BRICS countries, this is why I am taking these steps against you. So the decision is yours to make where you want to stand. And then for the UAE, I mean, look at what they reeled out. If you are between 18 to 45 years, you must have someone accompanying you to the UAE. And if you are above 45 or from 45 and above, you have to have $10,000 in your account every month. They must see that for the past 6 months. Just tell me don't come. That's it. Just tell me do not come. That's the bottom line as far as I'm concerned. I am not understanding why these countries are being hostile. I'm careful with my choice of words right now.
No, you're right. They are hostile. That's hostility.
Nigeria, I do not know, because the volume of passengers who travel from here to the UAE is huge. And even those who pass in transit to other countries, through the UAE to other countries, are huge. What did we do in particular that is making you say, you know what, do not come to my country, because that is what you are telling me? How should a 40-year-old person be going with someone else as escort? Because are you a child? It's not making sense to me.
How I wish we could say good riddance and bad rubbish, but because if you look at people people who are, doing businesses, genuinely, it's going to affect them the more, and even students. But
absolutely.
Let's see how this will definitely pan out.
I hope the government can handle it as quickly as possible.
Right, let's move on to this Nigeria, as well as... Okay, let's start. Okay, politics of things. This Nigeria leadership newspaper. This Nigeria is saying that no single individual made Buhari president. And then we have ex-SGF Mustafa says Buhari brought 12.2 million votes, while Tinubu and others only came with 3.2 million to the merger. So that's saying that, fine, they had a coalition at the time, but it didn't necessarily work. But the question people are asking is, why didn't Buhari win, former President Muhammad Buhari, win these elections when you know that they brought in paltry 3.5 million votes or thereabouts?
Buhari may have had 12-point-something million votes, but it was a spread. In Nigerian politics, the number is very important, but the spread is also very important. Buhari's 12-point-something was localized. The 3.2 that Mr. President brought and others was spread out. And when the coalition happened, it became, they had the two-thirds. They had their votes spread around the two-thirds of Nigeria. So, yes, somebody looking at the numbers only can come out with a statement like that and say he brought 12-point-something and you brought 3-point-something and so on.
That's right.
But we are not talking about the spread.
That's right. Veronica, very quickly. So we also have the leadership. So we're saying Akume, Al-Makura Dari, others in race for APC chairman. We know that party chairmanship can also make or mar the party post-election. How do you think they should navigate this path? Very quickly.
Well, the party understands what they are up against, and they know who can hold the party together and ensure that they achieve their aim at the end of the day. That is what they would be looking out for. Because 2027, they already know that a lot of things are already happening. So they will look at who can steer the ship in the direction of winning the election. And that is the person they would want to support and bring on board to help the party move forward.
That's right. So now let's move on to Nigeria News Direct as well as the Hope newspaper. At 9th OPEC seminar, federal government calls for investment to boost production, energy security. And Ondo State is also looking to build $15 billion refinery in Ilaje, which will be looking to producing 500,000 barrels per day. That's a feat which they are daring to achieve, you think?
I like the idea that they want to build a refinery, but the size of the refinery that they are proposing is really, really big, and I'm wondering, can they maintain it?
It's an oil-producing state.
Yes, I know. But you see, there are some projects are white elephant. They are just too big for you to handle. The PIB pushes us to do more of modular refineries, small refineries that we can have spread all over the country.
And it helps competition.
Competition will be everywhere, and it will help push down the unit price of petrol and so on. $15 billion is, that's not... You don't get that by the roadside. Right. Yes, they must have put their acts together. They obviously have partners that will bring some of the financing and so on. My worry is after the refinery has been built, are we not going to have plenty stories, negative stories coming out of that?
Well, Veronica, let us move on. Let's leave the question for
the benefit
of the doubt. Exactly. Let's move on to the Platform Times, as well as the Daily Trust, which is also speaking to corruption. EFCC's National Assembly saying, please pass unexplained wealth bill, says corruption in oil sector, mind-boggling. And they also said they've uncovered mind-boggling corruption in this very sector. We just talked about one giant leap to be made by Ondo State government, even the federal government doing a lot of things. But EFCC is saying that we need to be asking people, how did you acquire this property vis-a-vis your salary, your earnings?
Or your time in office.
Or your time in office.
It's important, and I'm wondering why the National Assembly is taking time regarding that. If the EFCC believes that this is one a law that will help us address matters of corruption.
Yeah.
I think we should be on all fours on that and ensure that we speed that up as quickly as possible, because we see how we have bled as a result of corruption regarding this aspect and this sector. We've been talking about it over and over again, and we've been talking about transparency and accountability, yet we cannot make a headway if we do not have laws that back the EFCC to do the needful. So these are the issues that the National Assembly should be focusing on and give speedy attention to. But then, what do we know, or what do I even know? I'm seated here.
Sorry, can I just come in here?
Very quickly.
I think it's a law that's going to be very difficult to pass. You know, it's going to be very difficult to pass for reasons I prefer not to talk about right
No,
here.
it's in national interest. Why
Yes,
not?
it's national interest.
I mean,
It's national. I mean, you're doing this.
You are not even in office. You are not holding any position.
I'm not holding.
Please,
I'm
pass
not
it.
holding. I'm not holding office.
Yeah.
But you see, okay, I'm not going to talk about it.
but the thing is, we can't be fighting the cause of, we can't be saying let's fight corruption, and we are having people in office that will make this thing work, not helping us to achieve the passing of this bill.
Question. Why are you there?
If this stuff goes through by the grace of God, I really pray it does. People that are not covered by the immunity clause, are going to have a myriad of court cases.
They should have it.
Many.
They should have it.
Yes,
let's just pass through the offices so that we'll be as clean as a whistle, as they say. Let us move on to Blueprint newspaper. IMF thumbs up. FRS says new tax laws will impact Nigeria, and there is this transition into NIRS or NRS. So we know that the person at the top echelon of FRS, Zacchaeus Adedeji, is doing fantastically well. These are good guys when it comes to the tax reform led by the head, and now we're talking about the FRS and what they've done so far, and they still have so much to be done.
Yes, for this tax reform to work, my humble suggestion is that FIRS, it happens sometimes, has to restructure.
Right.
Yeah, because it's a lot of responsibility for them. Other agencies, how many of them, 60-something, that used to collect here and there, are not going to have the powers to do that anymore. That's if FIRS is still like 50% analog. But if it is 100%
success,
no. If it is 100% seamless, if they are using technology more,
that's right,
than using human beings, then my suggestion would be those accounts that those agencies used to use in getting these things should still be there, but there now should be transit accounts that goes into the FIRS.
Well, all I'm up for is let them work well and then achieve the result at the end of the day.
I love that. So before you go, let's quickly touch on Sporting Life. We have a Club World Cup final.
Yeah.
It's Chelsea versus PSG final Sunday. What do we anticipate?
It's going to be a tough one for Chelsea. PSG is not a walkover. So I'm hoping that Chelsea can, take the day at the end of the day for them, and that's just it for me. It is not a walkover.
That's right.
It is not.
I wish Chelsea will win, because I have a picture that I took, at their stadium, so that I'll be able to post it.
I know somebody in TVC that will have issues if Chelsea doesn't win. So because of him, Chelsea, please win.
So that we'll hear what. All right, that's about it for the newspapers up for review. Though stay tuned for updates on the international discussions as the ADC feels the pressure to finalize the strategy for the 2026